You're watching Al Jazeera live from Doha. I'm Darren Jordan with our continuing extensive coverage of the joint Israeli and US attacks on Iran. And after 2 days of strikes and counterattacks, the conflict is now widening. Hundreds of thousands of people are on the move after Israel launched strikes across Lebanon. And within the last hour, it's ordered a forced evacuation for nearly 50 villages. Israel already launched strikes on Bekaa in southern Lebanon. The military has warned of more strikes after Hezbollah fired into Israel. Lebanon's Prime Minister has condemned Hezbollah's rocket fire. Israel says a senior Hezbollah commander has been killed. Israel has been targeting Hezbollah positions in and around Beirut, causing destruction and fires in many parts. Earlier, Hezbollah claimed responsibility for strikes on Israeli territory. The armed group says its attacks were in retaliation for the killing of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. Let's bring in Nida Ibrahim. She's in Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. Nida, so the Israeli military had released a statement some time ago saying they'd be attacking Hezbollah targets in Lebanon, and now we have seen those Israeli strikes following the Hezbollah rocket launches. Tell us more about what the Israelis have been saying, Nida.
Well, the Israeli army has been saying that they will be working to thwart any threat that is posed against the state of Israel, saying that Hezbollah is considered a threat to Lebanon. It will devastate it, and saying that they will act swiftly against the threats from Hezbollah. But it's important to note that while these rockets have been intercepted or fell in open areas, the threat remains very minimal. But it is Israel wants to relay this message. It is at a time that it wants to crack down on any of Iranian missiles, Iranian programs, but also any of the proxies that Israel believes work with Iran in the region to thwart any of their activities in the region. It's important to remember that this is the first attack of its kind from Hezbollah against Israel since the ceasefire was brokered in November 2024. But still, Israel continued to break that ceasefire and attack Lebanese soil and attack Lebanese villages. So it is indeed an escalation from the Israeli side, but let's not forget that Israel has been the entity breaking that ceasefire time and again.
Nida, we'll come back to you a little bit later throughout the morning. Let's bring in Zaina Hodder. She joins us live now from southern Beirut. Zaina, let's talk first about this warning in the last hour or so from the Israeli military to residents in parts of southern Lebanon to leave the area. Many, many villages. What more can you tell us, Zaina?
Yes, the Israeli army issuing forced evacuation orders, dozens of villages, tens of thousands, if not a few hundred thousands of people are on the move this morning, not just from southern Lebanon where those evacuation orders were issued, but here in Beirut. As you can see behind me, the traffic. Dahi, it's known as Dahi, Beirut's southern suburbs, a cluster of neighborhoods, is home to hundreds of thousands of people. Streets are empty. We've been talking to people here. Everyone is packing what they can and making their way to what they believe will be safer areas. Beirut's southern suburbs is considered a stronghold for Hezbollah. It has been repeatedly attacked during the last war in late 2024 and on a number of occasions since that last war, and despite a ceasefire that came into force in November 2024, a one-sided ceasefire which Israel has not respected, continuing to carry out attacks, accusing Hezbollah of rearming, accusing the Lebanese state of not doing enough to disarm the group. So you can see the chaos. It's the early hours of the morning. It's also Ramadan, when people fast during daylight hours. The people, they're supposed to be having their final meal before fasting today. Instead, they are looking for shelter. I've been speaking to them. These scenes, we saw the same scenes back in September 2024, where people were sleeping in their vehicles. The government, this is a cash-strapped government that cannot help its population. There isn't enough money in this country to be able to house these people. So, you see people are tired, they're concerned, and they're worried They're worried whether or not, this episode, if you like, is now over, or will there be a sustained Israeli aerial bombing campaign against areas where Hezbollah has influence.
Zaina, we're also hearing that a senior Hezbollah leader has been killed in those Israeli strikes. What more do we know, Zaina?
Well, the Israeli army saying that they targeted the senior leadership of Hezbollah. At the moment, we cannot confirm that, but there are rumors, there are reports, several names being circulated on social media. It's very difficult for us to confirm at this time. There are some reports suggesting that it was Mohammed Rad, who is the head of Hezbollah's parliamentary bloc. Yes, Hezbollah is an armed group in Lebanon. It used to be stronger than the Lebanese army and the Lebanese state, but it has been severely weakened with these ongoing Israeli attacks. But it does have representatives in parliament and in government. So right now we cannot confirm this, but you cannot rule this out because, again, despite that ceasefire, there have been assassinations of senior Hezbollah officials. Just a few months ago, an Israeli attack in the southern suburbs of Beirut killed a high-ranking Hezbollah commander. So the situation is very tense, chaotic. People are concerned. Is Hezbollah, so far as we have seen, there has been only one barrage of missiles that has been fired. And Hezbollah calling this a warning. Is Hezbollah trying to de-escalate, trying to say that this is a one-off strike because we are retaliating against the killing of the late Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei? Or are they trying to de-escalate, and how will Israel's response be? We're getting reports now that the Lebanese cabinet, there's an emergency session in 3 hours from now. The Lebanese government, of course, has been trying to keep Lebanon out of this regional conflict, repeatedly calling on Hezbollah not to launch what it calls a new adventure, because back in October 2024, Hezbollah opened up a support front for Gaza. So Lebanese officials were telling Hezbollah, don't open up a support front for Iran because it will threaten the security in this country. So an emergency session of the Lebanese cabinet, but the Lebanese cabinet and government is weak. It is not clear what it can do to prevent Israel from escalating this conflict. A few days ago, the Lebanese presidency issued a statement and said that the U.S. envoy informed Beirut that Israel has no intention of escalating attacks in Lebanon unless there's a hostile action coming from Lebanon. So again, this country finds itself at a turning point, a crossroad, and all these people really don't know what their fate will be in the coming hours or even in the coming days.
All right, Zaina Hodder, live for us in Beirut. Zaina, thank you.